presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Well, it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and on this Sunday afternoon, the home schedule comes to a close. The Cincinnati Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers ready to play the final game here at Miller Park. It is the give-back game as the crowd files in, and a sizable crowd it is, donating a ton of money to 4 very worthy causes. And we're looking forward to our matchup here tonight. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson, along with my partner, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard, our reporter. We welcome you from Miller Park, the last game here at Miller Park of the season. Hard to believe it's gone this fast. This is a day where we get to say thank you to you, all of you watching today. And it's a day where Mark Ananasio, Mark and Debbie, the 2 owners of the Brewers, have this give-back game, Rock, and they've raised $335,000.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, ever since Mark and Debbie purchased the ball club since '05, they tried to do something different the last home game of the season to reward the fans for coming out. Once again, over 2.2 million fans coming through the turnstiles here at Miller Park. The first year they owned the ball club, they gave away free tickets. Well, this year, $10 tickets going to charity. That's one of the big initiatives that the Ananasios really wanted to stress. The organization as a whole, including the players, giving back to the community, and what a great way to do that with the give back game here today.
Well, we thank all of you for coming to Miller Park. We thank all of you for watching all season long, and we'll have some fun and watch some baseball today. And as we prepare to play ball on this final Sunday at Miller Park, we do so with very heavy hearts. Jose Fernandez, one of the game's great young pitchers, died this morning tragically in Miami. We have reaction when we come back. Baseball on this Sunday in Milwaukee, and we are sad to report that early Sunday morning the Coast Guard confirmed the tragic death of Miami Marlins pitcher Jose Fernandez. Jose died in a boating accident near Miami. The Marlins have canceled their game today versus the Braves, and all across baseball, statements are being released. This from the Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred. He says all of baseball is shocked and saddened by the sudden passing of Miami Marlins pitcher Jose Fernandez. He was one of our game's great young stars who made a dramatic impact on and off the field since his debut in 2013. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family, the Miami Marlins organization, and all of the people he touched in his life. That from Commissioner Rob Manfred. And maybe the most poignant comments coming from Marlins television analyst Eduardo Perez. This was from earlier on ESPN.
It's tough. I don't even know what to say. It's emotional. You wake up to the news and, you know, I was like, okay, let's take a back seat. Same thing happened. I was on the team with Darryl Kyle when he passed in Chicago. And what the team is going through, what the city is going through, what his family, his mom, that's tough. And being the professional side, this is the human part. He meant so much to the organization, to the city, to the human community, to the kids. So he's going to be greatly missed. And his impact on the game, wow. Sky was the limit. His attitude. But when he did things, he didn't do it halfway. He did it full hardcore. It was bicycling. And he knew the dangers of it, so he stopped bicycling a little bit because he knew that a lot of people were being run over. They just didn't see the jetty. They didn't see it. I don't know what to say, but one thing I can say is the kid, the enthusiasm, the love for the game that he had, the love to compete. He never tried to show anybody up. He just wanted to have fun. He risked his life, leaving Cuba with his mom, saved his mom in the middle of the ocean, in the darkness. Wow, we lost him.
That from Eduardo Perez, who knew him very well. Words cannot express the shock and sadness all of us in the baseball community feel about the loss of one of the game's brightest young stars. Our heartfelt prayers go out to the family of Jose Fernandez, his friends, his teammates, and the Marlins organization. Jose Fernandez was 24 years of age. The man who kicked us off this year, he'll pitch the finale at Miller Park. And our broadcast today presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. 75 beautiful degrees here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Got a slight breeze blowing as well. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard, our reporter today, Dan Keener producing, and our director, Adam Bryant III. There is Brian Price, third year as the Reds skipper, and this is a ball club that is most likely going to finish in the cellar of the National League Central. However, they have won the season series over the Brewers. Brewers need a win today to win this series, their final home series at Miller Park. But the good news for the Brew Crew, they have a winning record at Miller Park and will have such no matter what happens today. Here's the Potawatomi batting order for Cincinnati. Jose Peraza leads off. Scott Schebler hits second, then Joey Votto. In the middle, it's Adam Duvall, Brandon Phillips, and Eugenio Suarez. Bottom three for Brian Price is Tony Renda. He's in right field. Ramon Cabrera does the catching today. And Brandon Finnegan is on the mound, the former Royal. And Rock Willie Peralta will get the ball. Makes sense when you say a guy who was the opening day starter pitches the final home game, but all the activity, all the roller coaster rides in between makes this quite a story for Peralta this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think it was all worth it going down to the minor leagues because he's making his 9th start since his return. 3-3 and a .326 earned run average in that stretch. He's 5-5 career against the Reds, and he's pitched well in 13 starts. Let's check out the defense behind Willie here today. Brought to you by Menards. You got Braun, Perez, and Santana in the outfield. Yadiel Rivera getting a start over at third base, his first start since his return at third. Arcia Villar up the middle, Chris Carter at first, and Martin Maldonado doing the catching.
Four-man umpiring crew in place. There is the crew chief, Eric Cooper. Ben May will call the balls and strikes, and the first pitch of the ball game is on the way and outside, ball one, and away we go. Good crowd on a Sunday afternoon, the give back game. And the Brewers giving a ton of money for charity. Peraza into center field, way back there. Perez, long way to go, but he'll run it down. And that's how the day begins for Willie Peralta. Third member of our team, Sophia Minard. She has more on Willie Peralta. What do you have, Sophia?
Well, certainly Willie Peralta has taken advantage of this second opportunity, as you guys said, making his 9th start since rejoining the club, and he's coming off of what he feels was one of his better starts of the season. 6 innings against the Cubs, gave up just 1 run on 9 hits, had 5 strikeouts as well, and he felt that he was really proud of the way he was able to just limit the damage, having so many people on base. He felt he was able to make the pitches in those spots when he needed them, whether it was a ground ball out or getting a double play. So he said to do it against the Cubs certainly gives him a lot of confidence here to finish off the rest of the season.
Yeah, he's won twice against Chicago in the month of September, and not only, you know, pitching better, but pitching deep in the ball game. Since his return, only once has he not gone at least 6 innings.
There's a line drive by Schebler. That's down for a base hit. Braun cuts it off. Schebler's going for 2, and he is in there with a double. So the Reds with the back-to-back lefties at the top of their order with Schebler and Votto.
This guy can hit. He's been impressive in this series. Very good opposite field hitter. Gets on top of that fastball from Willie and drives it out there into the right center field gap. Nice short stroke. Doesn't try and pull it. Brawny playing deep, but Schebler able to get in with a double.
Schebler was called up when Jay Bruce was traded to the New York Mets. Already 12 doubles to go along with 7 home runs since his call up. A .286 batting average since his call up when Bruce was traded. 6 homers, or rather 7 homers, 28 runs batted in. He has been impressive. Now Joey Votto with a man at second and 1 out. Reds threatened to score in the first inning on Friday in the opener of this series. Be it not for a Joey Votto line drive to first that turned into a triple play. Second triple play the Brewers have turned this year, and one of the 8 in franchise history now. The Reds did score first yesterday. Votto hit one out to center field off Taylor Youngman, a 2-run home run in the first inning.
And for a pitching staff that has struggled all season long, they looked pretty good yesterday, keeping the Brewers pretty much controlled the entire day. And you see what Joey Votto has been doing the last 11 games against Milwaukee, almost a .500 batting average. Yeah,
softball numbers. And a dangerous bat. Highest batting average in the major league since the All-Star break. And Votto takes one inside. That's the problem you have when you face Votto. You know you can't leave one in the middle of the plate. He'll hurt you there. And then if you go to nibbling and you're not hitting the corners, you put him in a hitter's count. That puts you behind the 8 ball, and Joey Votto's got you right where he wants you.
And you know he's not going to chase. Very good eye at the plate.
3-1 pitch. Votto takes a strike. Could be difficulty for the hitters today with the shadows as they creep across home plate. This is normally what you'd see in a late afternoon shadow, but as we start moving into the fall and these 1 o'clock starts, shadows creeping out between the mound and home plate. So advantage pitcher early typically. And that one just missed. Peralta tried to get him with a slider. Votto draws the walk, and 2 men are on here in the first inning.
Man, that's the thing about Votto. I mean, he does not chase and has an excellent eye. That one just missed the outside corner.
Votto is 3rd in the National League in walks. Actually now tied for the league lead in walks with 107. He just tied Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks. And with 2 on, here is Adam Duvall. Command was at the heart of the problems for Willie Peralta when he was sent down. He was really struggling. There was very little hope that Peralta could work out his mechanical flaws and his command problems in the major leagues. So that was a tough pill to swallow. The opening day starter having to go back to AAA to work on some things. And to be honest, Rock, he really didn't pitch well at AAA. So there was nothing that would indicate this kind of success in the major league since he has arrived back from AAA.
Yeah.
At a very high ERA in Colorado Springs. But whatever it was, whatever mental place he needed to get, he found it. And he's actually looked like his old self in this final stretch. And there's a wicked slider to get a swing and a miss.
Yeah, a lot of times there's really no correlation between what you do down in the minor leagues and get up to the big leagues. You can see the discrepancy much better since his return. We talked about it, you know, in the beginning of the game here. At 326 earned run average, and in his last 4 starts, he's only walked 4 batters, 1 in each start. So you talk about command, it's been pretty good.
Looking for a double play ball here. The 1-2 line down the left field line. That is trouble, and that will bang off the wall. Rounding third, headed home is Schebler. He'll score, and it's an RBI double for Adam Duvall, and the Reds strike first once again.
Yeah, 97-mile-an-hour fastball on Duvall. He's able to turn it around. That pitch was in on him, maybe not even a strike, but I think he was sitting on it. He popped the hips open and ripped that one down the line right off the base of the fence. So another good start for the Reds. They've been getting some production early in games.
Adam Duvall is inching his way towards a 100 RBI season. He has 95 ribbies now. And it's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out for Brandon Phillips. Phillips has had a good year. His .288 hitter coming into play today. Healthy once again. He still plays with an orthotic in his shoe. He had some major foot problems that slowed him down significantly. And Brian Price does have to manage his playing time a little bit. No Phillips in the lineup yesterday. 11 homers, 60 RBIs. And 4 gold gloves. One of the great second basemen defensively in the game today.
And you'd be hard pressed to find a guy that enjoys playing the game of baseball more than Brandon Phillips, having a good month of September.
No balls, 2 strikes on Phillips. And a little slow roller to short. Arcia going to third base and gets the out at third base. Yadiel Rivera was there for him. A run scores, but the Brewers do cut down a lead runner. It's 2-0 Reds, but a heads-up move by Arcia.
Yeah, Rivera a little bit late getting over there. I'm not sure he thought what was going to happen. You see him, he's all of a sudden up, ball's coming to me, better get back. And makes the out at third base. That's a good play, heads-up play by Arcia. And Rivera able to get back to make the tag.
Tell you, the Brewers are about as slick defensively as they could be around their infield today at second, short, and third. These are all 3 players with shortstop experience. Came up as shortstops. And a good group to have behind Willie Peralta today. 2 runs are in. Eugenio Suarez at the plate with 2 away. Credit Phillips with an RBI, by the way, on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, Phillips with the RBI, but not very good base running by Adam Duvall. They never go to third on the ball hit in front of you. He did it.
Phillips goes from his knees. Maldonado's throw hits Phillips, and he's on his way to third. So that'll be a stolen base and then an error. And the Reds end up with a runner at third base and 2 outs anyway.
Yeah, sometimes you're just better off holding on to the baseball. From his knees, the ball sails, and I think maybe if it's right on the money, but that's a lot to ask when you're throwing from your knees like that. You know, accuracy not very good. And Phillips able to advance to third on the error. Sometimes just better off holding the baseball.
You could see VR just trying to let the ball travel as far as he could to make that short hop pick. And it hits Phillips. There's a swing and a miss. He's gone, and a strikeout to end the inning. So Peralta surrenders a couple of runs, 2 hits and an error. Shaky start for the Brewers. They'll have to play from behind today. Scoring twice in the first inning. RBIs from Adam Duvall and Brandon Phillips. And Brandon Finnegan is on the mound today, the left-hander for Cincinnati. Here is Craig Counsell's Potawatomi batting order. Jonathan Villar at the top. Santana moves up to the 2 spot today with Ryan Braun hitting third. In the middle, it's Carter Perez and Arcia. Maldonado, Rivera, and Peralta round out the starting 9. And Rock, there is a former Kansas City Royal, Brandon Finnegan, on the mound for the Reds here today.
Yeah, making start number 31. Finnegan kind of an up and down season. 9-11, earned run average of 410, but he leads the National League in walks, 84 walks, and he's tied for the league lead in allowing home runs, 29. And the Brewers do both of those things pretty well. They walk a lot and they hit home runs.
Third start against Milwaukee, 5th appearance overall against the Brew Crew, and his first offering is down and away to Jonathan Villar. Villar has the stolen base lead in the National League all to himself now. Surpassed Billy Hamilton of the Reds yesterday. Villar pops this one a mile high. Out in the sun is Duvall, and he's got it for the out.
Let's check out the Menards Reds defense for this afternoon. Final home game here at Miller Park. Duval, Shebler, and Tom Renda getting a start out in right field. Suarez, Peraza on the left. Phillips, Votto. There's a trophy case filled with gold gloves for Brandon Phillips. And Ramon Cabrera gets his first start of the series at home plate.
A very similar theme with Cincinnati. Young players getting opportunities. Guys like Scott Shebler. He's in center field today. Two ball clubs, two organizations trying to put the pieces together and trying to contend in this very difficult National League Central Division. Brewers are 4th in the division. The Reds are 5th. Come and get a play today. Domingo Santana with 1 out, elevated to the 2 spot in the batting order. Santana hit a home run yesterday, his 10th of the season. This plate appearance right here is his 250th plate appearance of the season. He missed a lot of time due to 2 separate injuries, an elbow and a shoulder injury. But as we interviewed Hank Aaron yesterday in the booth, this was what Santana did. Powerball home run number 10. And then it led us to the notion that if Hank Aaron played some games at Miller Park, he might have hit 955. It's a strikeout to Santana and 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, that home run, the only run allowed by the Cincinnati pitching staff in yesterday's ball game. Great to see Hank Aaron yesterday.
It was a thrill, one of the highlights of the season.
Yeah.
And Hammer and Hank here for his charity, supporting the Boys and Girls Clubs.
I can only imagine how many pictures he took yesterday while he was at the ballpark. Of course, that's probably an everyday occurrence for Hank.
We only asked him for about 20.
Yeah.
Cherish those pictures too. Here's Ryan Braun, and he's swinging away at the first pitch. Fouls it out of play.
And there's certain guys you come across that, you know, down the years, you just you brag about getting a picture or getting an autograph or maybe just having a conversation with him. Hank Aaron's one. You know, Vin Scully, another one. He's retiring at the end of the season.
Yeah, today, by the way, is Scully's last broadcast at Dodger Stadium. So his final home broadcast, which is hard to even fathom. He's pretty much called every game at Dodger Stadium since its existence. Opened in '62. Remember, they went to LA in '58, and he called games at the Coliseum. So yeah, it's one of those reflective days. Braun with a swing and a miss. Changeup from Finnegan.
He's got a good one. You know, 2 fastballs, the 4 and the 2 seamers, slider and a changeup. His changeup pretty good.
Now Finnegan, you might remember, if you're familiar with his story, you're watching the World Series in 2014. Brandon Finnegan was the player that pitched in the College World Series for TCU in June of 2014, and then pitched in the Major League World Series in October of that season. One of the rare feats, first to ever do that. College World Series to the real World Series. Braun lines one to right, a base hit. That's going to shoot down the line, and Braun with extra bases on his way to second, now on his way to third as it gets in the corner, and Ryan Braun with a triple with 2 outs. Number 3 for Ryan Braun.
Man, there is nobody in baseball that does that, what he just did, any better than Ryan Braun. I mean, a pitch away, and watch the way he hits his pitch away. Might not even have been a strike. I mean, straight as a string right down the right field line. No hook, no sink on it, like a left-handed pull hitter. Yeah, Renda a little bit of a problem down in the corner, and Braun able to cruise on in for a triple. That is one thing Ryan Braun does that not many can do.
And he still has the good wheels. All the way around he goes. A triple for Braun. And here is Chris Carter. We're watching the Chris Carter home run chase for these final games of the 2016 season. Carter has the best home run ratio in the National League, by the way. If you break it down a little bit further, he homers every 13.8 at bats. And he's sitting on 38 home runs for the season. Nolan Arenado is the league leader with 40. The Rockies Gold Glove third baseman, also a big power hitter. Arenado also leads the league in RBIs. Carter is tied with Chris Bryant to start play today with 38 home runs. Carter does have a home run against Brandon Finnegan in his career. 2 for 7 lifetime against him. 2 balls and a strike with Braun at third base. And Carter gets under it a mile high. If it ever comes down, Cabrera will catch it. And he's got it for the out to end the inning. So the Reds put up a 0. The Brewers trail 2-0 as we go to the second. Cartoon jazz hands.
Yeah, nice. Hey, place a deposit on 2017 Brewers ticket plans to guarantee the best seats at the lowest prices. Plus, get access to a number of exclusive rewards and experiences such as photo day on the field, autograph sessions with Brewers legends, and much, much more.
First ball swinging. Nice play. Rivera to his feet, and the throw is in time, and a collision with Carter and Renda. It's like running into a wall. Carter is shaken up. Beautiful play by Yadiel Rivera to start the second inning.
Yeah, tremendous range and a good throwing arm, and Chris Carter able to, have some fancy footwork to be able to get the out. A lot of times you catch that ball behind the bag, you just keep going into foul territory. Well, Carter kind of did a pirouette and knocking the helmet off. Good center of gravity for both of them. Neither one of them went down.
Carter is a giant human being, and he doesn't lose collisions like that. Matter of fact, those hands we saw, those are actual size for Chris Carter.
Yeah, right.
Those are custom fit.
Either him or Marcus Hanel.
Here's Ramon Cabrera, switch hitting catcher.
Brewers bullpen catcher has some pretty big mitts.
Those hands, by the way, before you read that promo, I was all prepared for those hands, and they were neat and it's fun. And then you saw who the hands belonged to, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. I wasn't expecting that, as Carter has a much easier time at this one.
I didn't see who they belonged to. I was reading the card.
Yeah, you were into it, but it was quite the contrast. Wasn't what I was expecting. But if you're going to have a little fun at the ballpark, you bring props, and big props for those hands. Good crowd today on a Sunday afternoon. Last Sunday of the season at Miller Park. Packers are on. Certainly a tough time to draw, and Brewers aren't relevant for a postseason spot. But this crowd today is going to push the Brewers over 2.3 million this season, which is significant. Cannot tell you how significant that is.
That's up there
this
with
kind of season.
Yeah, year after year, up there with all the big market teams. And Brewers appreciate all the support that all Brewer fans give them.
It's a good note there. Brewers are one of 8 teams that have reached 2.2 million or more every season since Mark Atanasio took over in 2005. It's credit to Rick Schlesinger and his team.
Ticket plans and discounts, and always find a deal to be had here at Miller Park.
And you know you're going to play a game too. That's the most important thing. Great tailgating, and the roof is perfect. Finnegan rolls out. Nice inning for Peralta. Give him a big hand, Rock. A 3 up, 3 down. There he is. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. It's great seeing all the families here today, all the kids in the ballpark on this final Sunday at Miller Park of the Major League Baseball schedule. The Brewers have 6 games remaining after today, headed to Arlington tonight, as a matter of fact. Brewers will have a 3-game series with the division champion Texas Rangers coming up. First game tomorrow.
Looking forward to seeing Jonathan Lucroy, Carlos Gomez.
Jeremy Jeffress is back with the ball club.
Back with the ball club, right? Yeah, it's going to be a nice to see those guys. Congratulations to the Rangers too.
And then the Brewers will head to Colorado, and 3 games with the Rockies next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's what's remaining. Meanwhile, for St. Louis, they go to, or rather for Cincinnati, they go to St. Louis next. They have a 4-gamer with the Cardinals coming up, and they'll finish at home against the division-winning Chicago Cubs. So the Reds know they have a little something to play for in the fact that the Cardinals are still fighting for that wild card spot. And that'll be a key series coming up for Cincinnati with St. Louis tomorrow. Hernan Perez will lead the way. Perez, Arcia, Maldonado. First 3 up against Brandon Finnegan, the 23-year-old lefty. Now in his 3rd year in the big leagues. And a wave and a miss.
He's got a good changeup going. And he's got it's kind of a new pitch for him this year. Yeah, came up with a different release point, different grip, and been a difference maker for him.
And that's a shot right off of the pitcher. And Perez will reach on a base hit. Goodness. That was a shot right back at the mound.
He got him on the thigh. Another changeup. Might have hit the glove, maybe got the leg, not sure, but that was a bullet. Another changeup. So he doubled up on the changeup, and this is the result.
Oof.
Yeah, leg.
Man. Yeah, they're going to want to give him a minute. Take a look. The athletic trainer is out, along with the manager, Brian Price. And I would imagine he's going to have to prove he's all right, maybe throw a few. He's still fighting off the sting of that one, though.
Yeah. The question is, I'm not sure exactly where it got him. But get him on the knee, that's going to be a difficult situation for him to be able to continue much longer. If it got bone, that's going to hurt. That's going to sting a little bit.
Pitching coach Mac Jenkins is out there as well. Nobody knows his mechanics better, so he'll take a good look at him here to see if it looks normal. Ooh, could hear the thud. That'll be a base hit for Perez, an infield single. And it looks like Finnegan's all right. Waves his athletic trainer away, and we will carry on here.
Well, it feels as good right now as it's going to all day. It's going to stiffen up as the day goes on, and see how long he can go. Those leg injuries, you got to be careful with those.
So it'll be Orlando Arcia. Talented rookie shortstop with a runner at first to start the inning. Arcia has hit lefties well this season in his time in the big leagues. Fewer than 200 plate appearances, but he has a .324 batting average against left-handers. Brewers have a couple of things working for them today. The fact that they are at home, they have a plus +500 home record. They're going to finish over 500 on the home schedule. And the fact they beat lefties. The Brewers are actually 12 games over, 29-17 in games started by left-handed pitchers.
A heavily dominant right-handed lineup, and one of the reasons why they're so good against lefties. Most of their power comes from the right side. And 16-7 against left-handed starters here at Miller Park.
2-0 the count on Arcia, and he takes a strike. Arcia didn't like that call. Those are the splits for Arcia. Just getting his feet wet in the big leagues for the first time. He's been a hitter wherever he's played at all levels, even in winter ball in Venezuela, which is a tough league to hit sometimes, especially for young players. Strike two.
Well, he's just carving up those corners on Arcia here. First one up and away, that one down and in.
Pitch 3 and 4 called strikes, and they look like they're in the zone, according to Fox Tracks.
There's strikes.
2-2 the count now. On the ground, and it is foul. Suarez making a fan out of a fan. Big league bubble too right there. I think he's got more. Yeah, he's got a souvenir. He won't forget that. He's probably got a new favorite player as well.
Yeah. That's the way you keep fans from getting on you too bad. Right next to in the front row, you give them something.
That's what we do here in the booth all the time. There's a swing and a miss. Arcia strikes out. Second K for Finnegan. Hey, a reminder, you can join Fox Sports Wisconsin Sunday, October 2nd, starting at 12:30 for the 4th annual Milwaukee Bucks Open Practice and Fan Fest. It's at the BMO Harris Bradley Center. Get your first glimpse of the team, a chance for autographs with players, coaches, broadcasters. Stop by the Fox Sports Wisconsin photo booth. Admission is free. foxsportswisconsin.com/events for more details. Kind of the Bucks version of the on deck event, which we're already looking forward to, Rock, in January. I know you're looking forward to that.
I always miss it. They schedule it around the same time as fantasy camp. I do. I miss it. I used to like going.
Just can't be in two places at once, can you? There's
No.
a pickoff. Perez takes off on the first movement, and he'll make it. That'll be a stolen base for Hernan Perez, who is in the top 5 in the National League as we speak. That is his 33rd bag of the year.
Amazing. I mean, you never would have imagined, right? I mean, he takes off first move. Just keep going. It takes 2 good throws to get him, and he's able to beat it. Don't hesitate. Just keep going. And that's not even close.
Maldonado takes a strike. Now that is by design, right? Or was he actually picked off?
No, he was running. He just threw over. Just keep going. I mean, it's not like, you know, he was at a dead standstill and then they threw over and he went. He took off. He was stealing a base.
Perez is 4th in the National League in steals. What a story he's been.
But a lot of guys, you know, they'll take off and they'll see a pickoff throw and they'll slow down, try to get in a rundown. Why do that? It takes 2 good throws, particularly if you have a right-handed throwing first baseman. Makes that throw a little bit more difficult, has to spin around and takes a little bit longer. So fast guys a lot of times can beat that throw.
Maldonado under 1 and a high pop up. Suarez is there to make the play for the out. 2 gone in the inning. Perez remains at second base. Well, after that line drive that Finnegan took, he's limping a little bit. He's moving a little slower than normal, but his stuff looks normal.
Well, you wonder how long he's going to be able to go, because he sits down in that dugout, it's going to start stiffening up. I would imagine if I were a betting man, which I'm not, he's not going to be able to pitch too deep in this game. I think that thing's going to start giving him some problems.
Runner at second with Yadiel Rivera at the plate on the first pitch. A bouncing ball. Peraza's got it, and the side is retired. And we will keep an eye on Brandon Finnegan. Brewers come up empty. Reds lead it 2-0 as we go to the 3rd. Why wouldn't he be, Rock? It is his birthday today.
There you go. Do you know how old Mark is?
No,
or young, I should say.
I have no idea. Even if I did, I wouldn't say.
And I'm not about to venture a guess.
Happy birthday to the boss. Got his son Mike there with him. And good day to be at the ballpark, hanging out with your boy. So happy birthday. Rock's going to sing to him later. Willie Peralta back on the mound, facing Jose Peraza to start this third inning. We had a good time with Mark the other day. Mark was kind enough to attend our crew party that we have every year. Our Fox Sports Wisconsin television crew, not just our crew, but also the road crew that works here. And rent out a room at TGI Fridays, the party room, and always a great time. We thank Tyler Barnes and Alita Mercer for hosting that event for us. And Mark made an appearance, which, as I said the other night, means if you have to do a count of how many owners come hang out with the TV crew, it is exactly one.
Yeah, he's something else. He really enjoys it too. He likes to go around and ask questions of, the guys and ladies that do work very hard on our crew, camera people, audio, you name it, and very engaging.
We figured it was only right that we invite the person who's paying for it all.
And he wasn't aware that he was actually paying for it either until
all these years.
Yeah.
He's great. He's very approachable that way. That's what we like about Mark. And he was there long after we were, I can tell you that.
Right.
Might have been one of the last ones out of there, as a matter of fact. There is a walk. Peralta walks Peraza to start the third inning. Time now for our Carsoup.com trivia. Rock, who was the last Brewer to have over 50 steals while the team led the majors in steals. That's what we have in front of us now with VR, the National League leader with 59. And the team leads the National League as a group by a long shot. So we're looking for the last one to do it. Scott Schebler now, who doubled and scored in the first. It's been a tough out.
As you said his last time up, you got a nice short stroke. It doesn't look like he overswings, and he's hit a lot of line drives. Not all of them have resulted in hits. Even in Cincinnati, when the Brewers were there, he hit some line drives all over the ballpark, which is one of the reasons why you see the Brewers really don't incorporate a shift for him, because he does hit the ball all over, line to line.
Peralta paying close attention to Peraza. He is a stolen base threat. He does have 16 since he arrived to the big leagues.
Yeah, guys that are relatively slow to home plate, which Willie can be most of the time. You got to figure out different ways to keep guys close at first base.
Inside, snap throw to first. Maldonado throws another one away. That's trouble. That's going to get down in the corner. And Peraza's all the way around to third base. And Maldonado, with his second error, just trying to do too much early in this game.
Yeah, trying to be too quick. Just probably never got a good grip on the baseball. No chance for Carter. And trying to help his pitcher out. And now twice he's thrown it away.
So a runner at third base now is going to force the infield in, halfway in for Craig Counsell. Nobody out. Schebler at the plate, Votto to follow, and then Duvall. And a line shot, base hit, RBI for Schebler. 2 hits today for Scott Schebler.
Seems like every time he's up, he's hitting a line drive somewhere. Line drive in the left center his first time up. Line drive in the right center this time. This guy can hit. Gets on top of that baseball and hits a bullet.
Great way to measure how hard a player hits the ball, exit velocity, and Schebler is among the leaders with the Reds in average exit velocity. Joey Votto now with a runner at first. Costly error by Maldonado. Reds are up 3-0. There's a strike. 1-1 to Votto. That's a breaking ball he was looking for in Votto's first at bat. He threw that pitch on a 3-2 count. And he just missed. He walked Votto.
Tried to backdoor it. Catching the outside corner. Now the battle's on with Joey Votto with 2 strikes. I mean, he could take some of the worst looking swings that you'll ever see with 2 strikes. He'll do that a couple of times, then get one he likes and hit a rope somewhere. Just tries to foul off tough pitches. He does a good job of it.
Chokes up on the bat. One-two to Votto. And Peralta misses. Looked like a little change up there from Peralta.
Yeah, really throwing a lot of off-speed pitches in this game. You know, the fastball, that power sinker has been a good pitch for him, but you know, a lot of off speed, a lot of sliders. He's throwing through change-ups.
Votto into left field. Braun coming in, and he's got it for the out.
There's that power sinker, 97 miles an hour. And you see the 2-seam grip going away from Votto. He gets it a little bit off the end and an easy out to left field.
So 1 gone here in the 3rd, and it's Adam Duvall now. Reds up early, 3-0. There goes a runner. Maldonado's throw to second, right on the bag. VR with the tag, and Schebler is out. Caught stealing. There's a good throw. Maldonado needed one.
Yeah, good's an understatement. That was right on the money. Perfect throw by Maldonado. Quick release. Watch the feet even before he has the baseball in position and right on the money. If it wasn't, he was going to be safe. Like some kind of throw by Maldonado. Right on the bag.
Big swing by Duvall. 1-1 the count.
It's amazing how quickly he gets himself in position to throw. He doesn't even have the ball in his glove yet. And he's still able to stay down. He doesn't really jump up and block the vision of the umpire. Good quick feet. Yeah, check it out. Watch Maldonado. He's in position already. Very quick with the feet, but everything lined up, and Right on the money. That's the way it's done.
Yeah, a little redemption for him after a couple of throwing errors in this game. 2-1, swing and a miss. Another good breaking ball from Peralta to make it 2-2. Duvall with an RBI double in the first inning. An all-star this season. Had a great first half to make that all-star team. But his overall season numbers are going to be impressive regardless. There's a called strike 3. Got him with a fastball. Fooled him. So Peralta with a K, but the Reds score another run, and they lead it 3-0 as we go to the home third.
Back here in their final game at Miller Park this season, trailing the Reds 3-0 in the third inning. Sophia Minnaert here now with Rick Schlesinger, Brewers Chief Operating Officer. And Rick, it was a month ago you guys announced plans for the Give Back game. Today, more than $335,000 raised for 4 terrific organizations here locally. How proud are you of the fan response to the Give Back game and all the money raised?
Fans have been great all year, and this is just another example of it. To raise over $330,000 for the 4 charities, all goes back in the local community. It's great. The fans are getting great seats, giving money to great causes, and it means a lot to us.
Well, fans certainly responded. The $10 tickets, additional donations, all going to the Wisconsin Humane Society, Boys and Girls Club, Make-A-Wish, MAC Fund, and overall the fan support this season to have more than 2.3 million fans come through Miller Park. Just terrific support as always.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks volumes, the fact that this is such a great environment for baseball, and the fans have been so loyal and so supportive through good times and tough times. We have a great fan base. We cherish our fans, and they demonstrate time and time again how much the Brewers mean to them. So we are really pleased with the turnout this year and expect great things coming up in next year.
All right, thanks, Rick, for all your time this season. We always appreciate your time checking in with us and keeping us updated on all the events of the team. So BA and Rock, back to you guys, and congrats to all the Brewers fans and the organizations involved. Certainly terrific support demonstrated here today.
Yeah, no question. It was a great idea. Thanks to the owner for having the idea and willing to donate an entire gate, as they call it, to these great organizations, and fun to be a part of. That's why you like the organization so much. It's
a win-win for everybody. I think the Brewers players enjoy having some folks in the stands on the last game of the season, particularly with a Packer game going on, and a well-attended game here today. Fans get a big discount on tickets, and then charities are able to get some money. The Brewers ponied up $50,000 of their own dollars to go along with the gate today, and the Wisconsin Humane Society, the big winner today.
Yeah, they're all winners, but I think the Hank factor, talking about Hank the dog here, not Hank Aaron, but the Hank factor is still prevalent here in Milwaukee. Good turnout. Place looks beautiful. Close it down after today, and then going to have a few events here. The ballpark's always open for rent, and there's You know, every now and then you'll show up, you'll see a wedding or a reception party here or some group function. Restaurant stays open year-round, the TGI Fridays, so there's access to the ballpark, but no baseball being played here for a while. We are going to have a town hall meeting with David Stearns and Craig Counsell. That will be coming up in November. That's open to everybody. It's free admission. So that'll be one event that's coming up right around the World Series in early November. VR in a 1-2 count. 0 for 1 today. Flew out to left field his first time up. Seeing the markings on the eye black stickers for Jonathan VR, remembering Jose Fernandez, who tragically passed earlier this morning in a boating accident, and a lot of the players are recognizing him in many ways, honoring him in a number of ways.
Man, it just goes to show you how fragile life can be, right? I mean, there's no guarantees one day to the next, and you know, one day around the big league mound and then it's all over. You just got to enjoy every moment that you have. And I think Jose Fernandez was one of those guys. He embraced being a major league player, just enjoyed life, and it was a good role model to the people in Miami and baseball fans all over.
Now, not only was he a great young star, but a great personality as well, Jose Fernandez, and he will certainly be missed. Baseball lost a tremendous talent. These are some of the images from Marlins Park today. They canceled the game between the Marlins and the Braves, understandably so, and it's a really moving video, moving images on that scene on the mound with D. Gordon came out and was surveying the mound, and that number that they painted was supposed to start today, as a matter of fact. And you might notice a lot of the players, I don't know if you notice this at home so much because we do the games and we have various elements between at bats, but a number of the players are foregoing their walk-up music. That's one way they like to honor Fernandez, so they're not having their normal music play. It's kind of their own moment of silence. Santana rolls to third, and the inning is over. Tragic loss today, significant loss. Jose Fernandez dead at age 24, the terrific Marlins star. We pray for his family and his friends and the entire Marlins community. Baby Day at Miller Park. It's always Baby Day. Babies are welcome any day. Carsoup.com trivia: who was the last Brewer to have over 50 steals while the team led the big leagues in steals? That would be Pat Listash, his Rookie of the Year season. 1992, he stole 54, and the team had 256 stolen bases that year.
Boy, that's a lot of bags right there. 256.
Now, right now, the Brewers lead the league with 173.
Right. The running Brewers, even back in those days.
The late Darrell Hamilton was a big part of that stolen base leading team. Listash with 54, won the Rookie of the Year. Hamilton on that ball club. There's a shot. Peralta fields it on a hop. Nice play. And Brandon Phillips is retired.
Yeah, Willie putting himself in good position to field this baseball. Bullet right back at him. You see the way when he finishes, he's got those shoulders square. It seems to me like Willie's much more under control this time around. He used to fall quite a bit off the mound to first base. Still does a little bit, but not quite as much. And that's one of the benefits when you're able to be more balanced. You're able to field your position much better.
Eugenio Suarez takes a ball. It's going to be a big offseason for Peralta. I don't know if his spot in the rotation is secure for next year. The Brewers are going to have open competition. A lot of the players and pitchers the Brewers have acquired over the last couple of seasons are now getting to that point where they could push to the big leagues. The minor league pitcher of the year, Brandon Woodruff, would be in that category, and Josh Hader, the funky left-hander who is at AAA this season. So there are plenty of players that the Brewers are hoping are impact pitchers in the big leagues that are going to be right on the doorstep of making it to the big leagues for this offseason. So there are no guaranteed jobs. Love to see Jorge Lopez make a comeback as well. He had a rough year in AAA, but he's a guy the Brewers have their eye on.
Yeah, Brewers have had a number of starters about, last, 3 or 4 times through the rotation. Used 7 different guys. Some of them shut down for the season. Junior Garrett, Zach Davies, both of them shut down for the season. And I don't think the Brewers need to see much more out of those 2 guys. It's been good seasons, so give some of these other guys that might be they want to look at, going into the offseason.
I figured Jimmy Nelson's done enough. Peralta in this last little window of pitching here is certainly going to be the incumbent. You don't go from opening day starter and then not have a chance to make the rotation, but I don't think his spot is secure or guaranteed. And it all depends on who the Brewers acquire as well. But these are the 2 pillars right now. That's hard to believe because Zach Davies, this is completing his rookie year, and then Junior Guerra, a 31-year-old waiver claim. But both look like legitimate top of the rotation pitchers.
That's 29 wins right there between the 2 of them that weren't even on the team to start the season.
For a team that coming into play today has won 70 games.
Right. Yep, nice surprises, both of them.
Tony Renda with 1 out and a runner at first. Although the caveat to all of that is always you just never know what the offseason's going to hold and the moves that are going to be made. There are going to be players we don't even know about.
Right.
There will be players even when we start the season. There will be players that we're not even talking about that will emerge, and you could put both Guerra and Davies in that example because opening day neither one of them were part of it, and yet at the end of the season they were the 2 best that the Brewers had all season.
Yeah, David Stearns has proven that he's willing to pull the trigger on deals. There's something out there that he feels is going to improve the club, not just maybe next year, but down the road. He'll do it.
Ground ball, third base. Rivera. VR. Beautifully turned. 5-4-3 double play. And the inning is over. Peralta puts up a 0 in the 4th. Boy, the Brewers have 3 superb infielders out there today, and they made that one look easy.
Folks here at Miller Park all season long, bring the pictures to you as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Keep up with the crew wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, the official app of the Brewers, featuring live broadcast, scoring updates, breaking news, and more. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet. You know the one thing I'm going to miss the most about the offseason, not
besides me.
Yeah, of course, that goes without saying, but not being able to read that promo. I think I'm going to do that on Monday, the first day of the offseason.
You don't have to read it. You know it by heart right now. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's a great way to track the postseason, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
All those great games and At Bat app.
I got it on right here.
It's the #1.
Yeah, well, let me get it on here. Yeah, see?
Ryan Braun leads off and a swing and a foul straight back. We're going to be using that At Bat app later to check in on Vin Scully, his final game at Dodger Stadium.
I go with a pitch by pitch, and track pitches, pitch speeds, and things like that. It works even in the backyard.
Same tools that helps us sound smart. You think we sound dumb now? You should hear us without all these At Bat tools.
Yeah, when the internet goes down, we're lost.
We're just sit here with our mouths open. 1-1 and a shot, a base hit. Braun with a couple of hits today against Finnegan, both to the opposite field. And Ryan, who came in batting .342 against lefties, will up that another notch with a base hit.
Yeah, breaking pitch just didn't do anything, and when you do that with Ryan Braun at the plate, you're going to pay the price. 2 of the 3 hits for the Brewers, courtesy of Ryan Braun. And the one thing Finnegan's done a pretty good job of, not only shaking off that line drive off the leg, he continues to, throw the baseball well, but he hasn't walked a batter yet. And remember, he came in leading the National League in walks. So he's thrown a lot of strikes so far.
Well, Finnegan, as a matter of fact, leading the major leagues in walks, with 84 coming into play here tonight or today. Carter hits a shot right to the shortstop, Peraza. That's going to turn into a double play. Well, that was a bullet. Nice play by Peraza. Once he got it in his glove, it was easy for the Reds to turn 2.
Yeah, check out Brandon Phillips here. Is there a more nonchalant guy in all of baseball? Did you see him on this? A little bit down on the trademark. He broke his bat, actually. Now watch Brandon Phillips, the way he turns his double play. Tiptoe, little toss over to first base.
I didn't notice he barehanded it the first time.
Yeah. A little flash in the game for Phillips, but he can back it up.
So entertaining. Always has been. And 4 gold gloves on the mantle, so he can get away with a lot. Perez into center field. And this is going to be a quick inning for Finnegan, who has shaken off that line drive off the leg. And he has zeros on the board through the first 4 innings. Reds are up 3-0. We head to the 5th.
T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball as we make our push into the final week of the regular season. The Red Sox are rolling. They have now won 10 straight with their 6-4 win over Tampa Bay last night. They clinched their playoff spot. The Dodgers still looking to secure their spot. Clayton Kershaw went 7 shutout innings last night as the Dodgers beat the Rockies 14-1. For the Dodgers, their magic number is still 1, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Sophia. Yeah, extra inning win last night by the Giants. They'd blown another lead as Cabrera starts the inning with a single. The Giants bullpen, Rock, is very shaky. It is not giving Giants fans much hope.
Unusual for them, right? It's always been one of the better bullpens in baseball.
Great races, though. They're going to come right down to the end. That the wild card race in both leagues have serious intrigue. Mets and Giants are currently the 2 spots of the wild card. The Mets would host the Giants if it ended today, but then there are the Cardinals, who are a half game back. There's a bunt, a good one. Maldonado has only 1 play at its first base. Cabrera advances to second base, so a sacrifice bunt for Finnegan. In the National League, the 2 spots are basically 3 teams. Mets and Giants in a dead heat, and then you got the Cardinals a half game back. Cincinnati will go to St. Louis for 4 starting tomorrow. I guess the Pirates are still breathing, but that is pretty much a Hail Mary at this point.
Yeah, you got too many teams to jump over, right?
And then in the American League, currently the Blue Jays occupy the top spot. They're a game and a half clear. 2 games in the loss column of the Orioles. And then you've got the Tigers, the Mariners. Astros are 3 back. Starting to feel like there will be a tiebreaker this year to lead up to that wild card game. It's a ground ball. VR ranging over long way and makes the play to retire Peraza. And over to third goes Cabrera. So that's a story in the American League wild card picture with a week to play. Toronto is hosting the Yankees today. They are tied at 1 in the 8th inning.
Kind of surprising Kansas City's out of it. I mean, it's kind of a disappointing season for them. But how many teams go to the World Series 3 years in a row? That is a difficult thing to do, let alone make the playoffs 3 years in a row. Looks like they're not going to do it.
Kansas City is factoring in the race right now, though. They lead Detroit 9-5 in the 5th inning. Tigers are trying to hang on. Well, the postseason is coming up. Wild card games start Tuesday and Wednesday. American League wild card on Tuesday on TBS. Fox will have the National League wild card game that Wednesday. FS1 takes on the NLDS, the 2 NLDS series, beginning the Friday after the season.
What do you got going?
I've got the American League Division Series on TBS, which will start on Thursday. And then it's off and running. It's a great time of year. Baseball postseason. Hopefully the Brewers are going to be a part of it soon. Schebler's been the most dangerous at bat in this series. Since mid-August, he's hitting .338 in the big leagues and has 25 RBIs in that stretch. There's a wave and a miss, and Peralta strikes him out. Well, that gives you a glimpse of what Peralta could be. That is wicked slider. And he strikes out Schebler with a runner at third. Keeps it 3-0 Reds. on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Sunshine, Sunday afternoon. Beautiful day for baseball. The last day for baseball here at Miller Park this season. 3-0 Reds. And it'll be Arcia to lead off. Brandon Finnegan's back on the mound. And we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Reds have out hit the Brewers 4-3. Scored a couple of runs in the 1st inning. Added one in the 3rd. Costly error in that inning led to an unearned run in the 3rd inning. Arcia struck out his last time up. Finnegan's had a good changeup today. It's kept the Brewers off balance. Foul back out of play by Arcia, and it's 1-1. Arcia swings and pops this one up. Votto gives it a look, and he's got it for the out. One gone in the 5th. Well, a reminder that every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays 8:30 a.m. Central, only on FS1. One away for Martin Maldonado. Who popped up to 3rd base his first time up, and that one's in the air as well. Fly ball to right for Tony Renda. Out number 2. And it'll be Yadiel Rivera. Good to see Rivera get another start. It's been a while since he's been out there. He was up with the Brewers earlier this season. Last start in the big leagues was June 22nd. There's a lot to like about Yadiel Rivera's game. Question is he going to hit enough?
Yeah, he's a terrific defender. No doubt about that. Throwing arm range. You can play anywhere in the infield. And with him at 3rd base, it kind of gives you a sense that the Brewers aren't sure where VR is going to land at the beginning of the season next year. I mean, conventional wisdom would tell you that, you know, you put Rivera in the lineup, you throw him at 2nd base, in place of Scooter Gennett.
In the right field, hit pretty well. Back is Renda, and he makes the catch as he crashes up against the wall. Rivera robbed of an extra base hit. Nice play by Tony Renda. And Finnegan post a 3-up, 3-down 5th. 5 in the books. Good defense by the Reds outfield.
the 6th inning, and today's time of the game winner, Morgan's of Pine Bluff in Cross Plains, if they call the Brewers, by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to an April or May 2017 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. You know who hangs out at Morgan's?
Who's that?
Matt LePay.
No kidding.
That's right around where he lives, and he said to me, I texted him today, I knew he was in that area. And he said, yep, I've been in there from time to time, and you know, he says nice, good place. He said we should join him there sometime.
Okay, just waiting for that invite.
Good game for the Badgers yesterday.
Oh my goodness, what a great win! Unexpected dominance over Michigan State, huh?
Took it to him, what, 30-6.
Keeping those national championship hopes alive, Rock. You got to dream big. Swinging a foul by Votto. Spoils one from Peralta. Our esteemed producer Dan Keener is a Michigan State man, so
yeah, he was in a foul mood yesterday.
Walking around here with his head down and a little bit of Eeyore in him. It happens.
You know who else is a big Michigan State football fan? Tim Van Wagner, old buddy.
Sure. Say hello to Tim.
Works with the Admirals. Hang in there, guys.
1-2 to Votto, starting the 6th inning. Votto able to foul that one off somehow. Got him. Boy, tied him up with a big fastball. 96-mile-an-hour heat right in on the knuckles. And Votto strikes out.
Yep, up and in, and Votto not able to handle that pitch. Boy, he tried his best to pull those hands in, just couldn't do it. And a big out for Willie Peralta. Yeah, perfect pitch up and in.
One away here in the 6th inning, or check it. Yeah, the 6th inning. Wrote it down in my scorebook wrong. Sorry, partner. And a big swing and a miss by Duvall.
What'd you have, 7th, 8th inning?
I got ahead of my my bookkeeping here. I had them. There were like 6 outs here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, it's all right.
How many outs you get in this league?
27.
Peralta's got that look. 3 runs allowed, 2 earned. Whoa, that slider's good. That's the one. Bottle up the fastball he threw to Votto, and that slider he just threw to Duvall, and now you've got somebody who is elite once again.
This is the way he's been throwing that slider since he's returned from the minor leagues. All 9 starts now. Yeah, I think Willie's thinking he better empty the tank right here because he leads off the bottom of the 6th.
Two the count on Duvall. Double and an RBI, then a strikeout. And Peralta gets him again. So Willie is racking up the strikeouts now. Back-to-back Ks in the 6th inning.
Yep, and Duvall's having a difficult time with that slider today. Remember his first time up, he turned on a fastball in on him for a double. But the slider is giving him some problems.
The slider is the pitch that could make or break him. Sophia has more on that pitch.
Well, that's exactly what he told me. He felt the biggest thing that he had improved upon in this second chance with the team since coming back up from his time in AAA was just executing that slider. He felt that early on in the season when he was struggling so badly, he was just missing over the middle of the plate way too much, he said, with both the fastball and the slider. He said he just didn't have a lot of confidence in his off-speed stuff, and he said if he can't go to that when he's behind in the count, it's just a totally different game for him. So he felt that's really been the biggest difference, is getting that command back.
You know what he's been doing since he's returned is he's throwing that slider down the middle of the plate first pitch or first strike, which you can get away with. But the one thing he's been doing a really good job of is with the 2-strike slider, most of the time throwing it off the plate, but close enough to get swings. He was not doing that early in the season.
And the question has always been with Peralta, does he have enough to survive with just 2 pitches? Obviously, if he added a changeup or a third pitch, some kind of change of pace pitch, whether it be a slow curve or a changeup, something like that, then now you're looking at a pitcher that could thrive as a starting pitcher. Problem Peralta has when one of his 2 pitches aren't there, mostly it's the slider that disappears from time to time, and the hitters, no matter how hard you throw, big league hitters will figure out that velocity. They'll time it up, and that's what's giving Peralta trouble. So then you start thinking about, well, is he a potential reliever then, where he could just air it out for an inning or 2, and that's certainly come up, been discussed.
And he throws enough strikes that, you know, we would figure he would be pretty good out of the bullpen. We'll see, you know, how it all works out for him. But, you know, he is a starting pitcher. I mean, he has the durability, the stamina to be able to, you know, give you 7 innings.
There's a base hit, 2-strike hit by Brandon Phillips.
And he has, since he's returned from the minor leagues, gone at least 6 innings in all but 1 start. And he went 5 innings in that start. So much more efficient, you know, and the pitch is much more effective. There's a slider he was talking about that he threw early in the year, that one that spins up and ends up down the middle of the plate.
Two outs, man on for Suarez, who takes a strike. Eugenio Suarez with 20 home runs this year from the third base position. Ball and a strike. Phillips at first. It does have a steal today, and there he goes. And Maldonado's got a chance. The throw is on the bag, and he is gone. Martin Maldonado cuts down another one. Throws out Brandon Phillips. The second caught stealing of the game for Maldonado, and the inning ends at second base. Good throw by the Brewer catcher. Still 3-0. Brewers trail. They are coming up in the home 6th. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers. It's Miller time. 3-0 Cincinnati as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Brewers in the 9th spot in their order. So we have one of those moments where Brian Price, the Reds manager, was waiting on counsel to send out a pinch hitter. And he has done so, Jake Elmore. So now Brandon Finnegan is going to be taken out. This could be an exercise that could be looked at this offseason, could be eliminated. Just declare the player, and then you don't have to go through the whole process. Declare your pinch hitter, let the manager send the pitcher out he wants, and then we don't have to take another commercial. But we will right now, and we'll be back and set up the new pitcher. The way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. Catch Colin and Jason's new show as they team up for FS1's daily sports talk show, Speak for Yourself. Weekdays, 4 p.m. Central. 3-0 Reds. We're here at Miller Park on the final Sunday at Miller Park of the season. Kid's wide-eyed, imagining himself eating that net.
You don't want to be doing that during the game.
No, back off that net when the game's on.
That's one of the dangerous things about being around the batting cage during BP. Get too close to that net, you might get popped in the head.
Here's Josh Smith. Jake Elmore announced as the pinch hitter. So Price counters with Smith. Finnegan's day is done. 5 shutout innings, and in line for the win.
He pitched 5 days ago at Chicago, gave up a run in 3 innings of work, so he can give you a few innings.
There's a base hit for Elmore. Pinch hit single.
Yeah, Jake doing a good job staying on that pitch away. One-handed, keeps it level enough to punch it out of the reach of Peraza. So leadoff base runner for the Brewers. 3rd time the Brewers have had their leadoff hitter on.
7th pinch hit of the season for Elmore. And he is aboard for Jonathan VR. Brewers could use a quick strike here. Crowd is anxious to cheer, but no runs on the board. Only 4 hits for Milwaukee. Braun has 2 of those. Willie Peralta goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned today. 3 walks and 5 strikeouts, and right now on the hook for the loss. VR turns around, hits lefty against the right-hander Smith. 3-0 the count. Get another man on. The Brewers will bring some heavy hitters up. with a chance to tie this game. In there, strike one.
Yeah, Smith not a hard thrower, relies on movement. Got a good sinker, get some ground balls. VR needs to get one up in the strike zone here. Avoid that grounder.
In the air, left center, hit pretty well. And that ball is going to bounce off the base of the wall. Elmore cranks it up. He'll end up at third base. And Jonathan VR with a double. And the Brewers are in business here in the 6th inning.
Pretty good job by VR. That ball was sinking down and away, but able to get it. If he tries to pull that pitch, that might be a double play. I mean, not a bad pitch by Smith with the movement. But VR able to wait back and knock it out of the reach of Schebler. Well, Brewers in an ideal position right now with the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. And runners at second and third.
Domingo Santana at the plate. Nobody out. Santana takes a breaking ball down and away. That one misses down and in. Reds bullpen has really struggled this season and has been their nemesis. They've got a good closer out there now, Raisel Iglesias, but he can't pitch every day.
And he pitched yesterday with a 4-run lead. Kind of surprising.
Yeah, he was warming up when it was a save situation and the Reds tacked on, and he came in and pitched anyway.
Yeah. Once you get your closer loose, pretty much every time you're going to get him in. That young man can throw the baseball. Iglesias. Wow.
Strike two, caught the edge. Santana did not agree with that one.
Been a pretty good strike zone today, though, for Ben May. I mean, that looked like a strike.
Pitch number 5.
Yeah, on the line, it's a strike.
2 on, second and third. 3-2 pitch. Santana strikes out. Chased one that time. And the first out of the inning.
Pretty good slider, just a little bit off the edge. A little too close to take.
Well, the Brewers will send Ryan Braun to the plate now with a base open at first. Let's see how aggressive the Reds will be with Braun at the plate. At the plate presented by Wendy's. Braun is 2 for 2. Triple and a single. He's now hitting .348 against left-handed pitching, and he'll face a right-hander for the first time today.
Yeah, with all the trade talk around Ryan Braun, fans here wondering if this is going to be the last home game for Ryan at Miller Park.
No balls and a strike. Well, a decade is a long time. There are a lot of kids in the ballpark today who only know Brewers baseball with Ryan Braun part of it. Great career. He is the franchise leader in home runs. .302 lifetime hitter in this ballpark. .924 OPS. This year his overall OPS is at .919. He's had a great year.
Yes, he has.
Established himself as one of the elite hitters in the game again. Fastball misses.
Yeah, coming into the season, not sure what you were going to get, how much he was going to be able to play after, you know, the back surgery. Really no problems with the thumb problem that he had a year ago. It's been a great year for him.
He thrives in spots like this. His batting average with runners in scoring position in less than 2 outs, .408. Up and in, straightens him up. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, you never want to put the tying run on base, but I guess if you're the Reds, you don't want to give Ryan Braun a cookie down the middle right here. He could tie it up easily. The way he's swinging the bat today.
Chris Carter due next. 3-1 pitch, and Braun offered at the breaking ball and fouls it back.
That was right down the middle.
He's mad at himself.
I mean, look at that pitch. I mean, can he get more down the middle?
They're hoping for something big here. Braun representing the tying run. We're in the 6th inning. Full count, 1 away. And Braun a pop-up. Phillips is out. And no chance to score a run. So Josh Smith has retired Santana and Braun with runners at 2nd and 3rd. And now Chris Carter coming up. Carter at 38 homers. Career high for him. Tops the Powerball home run leaderboard. Career highs for VR and Jeanette, by the way. First time Braun's hit 30 or more homers since he hit 41 in 2012. Well, see if Carter can get a hold of one here. Strike, a fastball.
This is where you think it might be a bit of a challenge to see right now. You know, you got a lot of shade. Then in the, in the batter's eye area, you got the bright sunshine. Now the sun's starting to creep along the home plate area. Presents its own set of challenges.
0-2 to Carter. Carter had a memorable moment with the bases loaded on the last road trip. Hit a grand slam off the scoreboard at Wrigley Field in left center. First opposing player to hit the scoreboard. That was the day the Brewers beat Jake Arrieta and the Cubs. He's down 0-2, 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. Carter looking for a mistake. The 1-2 pitch, and he lays off. Good take. 2-2 now to Chris.
Yeah, tried to get him to chase a curveball right there.
And Carter pops it up. Votto's going to give it a look. That will end up in the seats. Just 3 rows up, though. Well, Josh Smith allowed a single and a double to start this inning. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. He struck out Santana, got Braun to pop up to 2nd. Two to Carter. And he got him. Boy, a big opportunity lost right there. The Brewers come up empty. 3-0 Reds on our way to the 7th inning.
game of the season. And go inside the Brewers on November 3rd at 7 o'clock as General Manager David Stearns and Field Manager Craig Counsell speak about the state of the club, plans for the future, and answer some questions from fans in a town hall meeting here at the ballpark. All fans are welcome to attend. The gates open at 6 o'clock. November 3rd at 7 o'clock. Town hall meeting.
That's a great event. I was at that event last year. Served as the MC for that event, and it was a lot of fun, very informational. And those guys are great in that setting, Stearns and Craig Counsell. And now they've got a year under their belt. I'm sure they'll have a lot to say. So the Brewers are checking the lineup card. New pitcher in for Milwaukee is Yan Marinez. Close the book on Peralta, who is on the hook for the loss. 6 innings, 2 earned runs today.
And a pretty good outing. He gave up a couple of runs in that first inning, but settled down nicely. 44th appearance for Marinez, and he has been very good. A .293 earned run average. And Marinez last pitched on Friday against these Reds, an inning and 2/3 scoreless.
Facing a Eugenio Suarez to start it. Suarez walked his last time up. Struck out in the first. He's 0 for 1 today. And he lines out one into left field, a base hit. 6th hit for the Reds. Clean single by Suarez, his first of the day. And a man on to start the inning.
And Marinez with that big two-seam fastball got in on his hands, but able to muscle it out into left field. Loves the ball inside to Suarez. You can't make mistakes in there.
Suarez with that brace to protect his wrist. Tony Renda at the plate. He shows bunt, gets a good one down. And Marinez will chase him to the bag. Got the tag on his back. One unassisted.
Decided to do it the hard way instead of flipping it to first base.
Looked like it was going to be easy, and then Renda threw it into 5th gear and almost ran right by.
How about a little flip? Get his running in.
Slap on the back. One away, sack bunt for Renda. Advances Suarez to second. That'll bring up Ramon Cabrera. Switch hitting catcher. There's a strike. Little breaking ball from Marinez. Ooh, big cut by Cabrera.
And had some nasty movement on it at 95 miles an hour. Almost looked like a splitter. Dropped so much.
Cabrera's got the Hack Wilson build. Short of stature, packs some punch. Another big swing. Down he goes. Strikeout for Marinez. 2 outs in the inning now. Still a runner at first. And we'll have a pinch hitter. Steve Steve Selski, who's been in the starting lineup in this series, will pinch hit. 2 outs and a runner at second base. Brewers down 3 runs. Reds got 2 in the first. RBIs from Duvall and Phillips. There was an error in that inning by Maldonado. Maldonado committed another error in the 3rd inning. That led to a run, an unearned run. But Maldonado with 2 caught stealing today. Brewers bats have been quiet. 0-2 the count on Selski.
Yeah, guys that like to throw the ball like Maldonado, will have some throwing errors throughout the year, and not many of his throwing errors that really cost the Brewers runs, but it did today.
Maldonado directing traffic out there defensively. 0-2 the count. Selski at the plate. Mourinho's trying to put a 0 on the board. And that's a little flare. That's going to fall, a base hit. And a run's coming in. Base hit on an 0-2 pitch. And the Reds now lead 4-0.
Yeah, made a mistake with a slider. 0-2. You try and waste one. Watch where it ends up. Middle in, not much movement on it, and Selski just serves it out to right field for a big 2-out RBI.
Yeah, those are the ones that crush you right there.
Yeah, no 2 pitches, right.
0-2, 2 outs, chance to get out of the inning, get a little momentum going for your offense. Selski now 4 for 8 as a pinch hitter, and he delivers an RBI to give the Reds a 4-0 lead. Here's Jose Peraza now. Peraza has been getting a lot of playing time. Zach Cozart has been out. Peraza can also play the outfield. He was part of that 3-team trade. The principal piece in that was Todd Frazier going from the Reds to the White Sox, but the Dodgers were also involved in that deal. And that's how the Reds got Peraza and Scott Schebler. Trace Thompson ended up going from the White Sox to the Dodgers before his injuries. He was an impact outfielder for LA. Some pretty big talent involved in that deal. And a lot of players. Reds traded away a fan favorite and a home run derby champ in Frazier. On the ground, Arcia makes the play. Throw to second. Wow, man. Orlando Arcia from his knees with a spin to get the out. And it ends the inning. Well, we invite you to hang around our presentation of God Bless America. Enjoy, everybody.
Guest services. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
the Brewers half of the 7th inning. Hey, hang out with your favorite members of the crew at Brewers on Deck on Sunday, January 29th. If you purchase tickets by December 1st, you get a free ticket voucher good for select 2017 home games. Go to brewers.com/on-deck. January 29th, 2017.
Mark it down, Rock. Hope you can make it.
I'll be at fantasy camp, but thanks for the invite.
Jumbo Diaz is on the mound for the Reds. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Brewers are coming up, down 4 now.
It's been a while since I've been to Brewers on Deck. It always seems to coincide with fantasy camp.
Well, there's a reason for that.
You can't be at 2 places at one time, although as much as we try.
As much as we'd love to have you there, Rock, it's by design. Scott Selski takes over in right. Hernan Perez will lead off for the Brew Crew. Had a golden opportunity last inning with 2 on and nobody out, but came up empty. Santana, Braun, and Carter all put out to end the inning. Perez has a hit today. He lined one off the starting pitcher's leg, Brandon Finnegan, who went 5 shutout today and is in line for the win. One ball, one strike, and Perez with a base hit to right.
Another leadoff hitter on. Yeah, 4th time today, and all 4 times a base hit. Cincinnati pitching staff has not walked a batter today, which is unusual. Brewers usually draw a number of walks, and Perez able to bang one into right field.
So Hernan is 2 out of 3. Leadoff single for the 2nd consecutive inning. Brewers have had a leadoff single in 3 of the last 4 innings. Trying to punch one across. Here is Arcia. He is going to be fun to watch for many years to come. That play he just made to end the last inning. You're almost getting to the point he hasn't even been here that long. You expect that, and he makes it look so easy.
He makes stuff up on the fly. That's what makes him so special. The kind of plays that you really don't practice. I mean, he's got a good sense for, good instincts. And check this out. He goes down, he smothers it, and knows he has to put something on the throw, and able to get his man at second base. Just has good field presence.
1-1 to Arcia. Ooh, inside, almost hit him. Now, ask if he went. He did not.
It was pretty close if he went. Started that bat. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like a swing. Got a break there. Almost hit him in the elbow as well. It's the old Jim Gantner black bat rule. Umpires never see that black bat.
That's only in a night game.
Good point. There's a strike.
But, you know, with the shadows, I mean, it might still apply. He did believe that, you know.
Oh, I know it. He still believes it. Even though every time I say it, it's proven wrong over and over again. That skips away, and on his way to second goes Perez. Be a wild pitch, and now a base hit could deliver a run.
Yeah, not exactly the way you want to go after a breaking pitch in the dirt. Try to backhand it, and that eliminates the double play. You know, Jimmy Gantner has a lot of theories.
He does.
That need to be tested over time.
Mythbusters.
Right.
Full count to Arcia. They had a good cut. Fouls it back. The fact that Jim Gantner can hear footprints, though, is still my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
What hearing?
He's got a million of them. Yogi Berra has nothing over Jimmy Gantner.
Yogi's just had the famous phrases. Gantner was locally famous. Arcia lines one to left field, a base hit. And Perez will go station to station. First and third, 2 on to start another inning for the Brewers. Let's see if they can cash in this time.
Yeah, good battle by Orlando Arcia. Yeah, full count pitch, and they've been working him inside quite a bit, lately anyway. But 95 able to turn on it, and the Brewers now once again with a couple of men on and nobody out. This time first and third.
Here is Maldonado now. 0 for 2 today. A couple of pop-ups for Martin. Hey, we want to say hello and thank you to some of our favorite people that we work with here at Miller Park each and every day. Tim Shea and Carolyn Birch, who is in her last day working for the Brewers. Matt Putzer and Kayla Schaefer all helping us out in the broadcast and entertainment department. We put a heavy burden on those 4.
Yeah, we ask a lot of them. And especially on Kids Eat Free Sunday,
yes.
Tim is always good about bringing some of the ice cream cones in.
Free ice cream in. He's good about giving out free stuff.
Right.
Giving away free things. T-shirts and whatnot.
Not sure how many ice cream cones he starts with, but he usually has a couple in here.
There goes Arcia. Pitches up and in, and the throw is a bad one. And now coming in, Perez. Arcia on his feet to third.
I'm not sure what happened there. I mean, was that interference?
That's what Cabrera was asking for. There was contact between Maldonado and Cabrera, but immediately the home plate umpire, Ben May, said no interference.
Well, if he's in the batter's box, he's trying to get out of the way. There's the contact, and I'll tell you, the throw from Cabrera almost hit Diaz. The pitcher, check this out. Right there, I mean, almost hits him right in the head. That'd be an E2, but you can't fault Maldonado for that. He was actually trying to get out of the way. And watch the catcher, he goes right into Maldonado. Good effort by Cabrera to do that, but that's certainly not interference.
He's trying to draw the charge.
I'll tell you, Jumbo Diaz, fortunate that that ball did not hit him.
Well, it'll be a throwing error on the catcher. E2, a run scores. Stolen base for Arcia. He's now at third base. And suddenly the Brewers a chance to score another run without the benefit of a hit. Could tighten this one up quickly now. 1-1 the count. And that one's in there, 1-2. Martin hanging tough. Well, the Brewers, if they could get a quick strike here, right back in it. They've been able to come back once in this series, winning Friday's game. And Maldonado in the air, right field. Selski is coming in. And that's too shallow for Arcia to score. Selski has a good arm. Good throw, and out number 1.
Yeah, Diaz got in on his hands enough to not allow the run to score. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. This guy can bring it up there pretty good. And that fastball middle in. Maldonado just a little bit behind it.
Scooter Gennett announced as the pinch hitter. He'll hit for Yadiel Rivera here. And he'll likely stay in to play second. That would probably bump VR over to third base, I'm guessing is what counsel would do. Runner at third, one out. And Gennett on the first pitch fouls it away. Jumbo Diaz. He's given up a run. There was an error. Unearned run for now. Each club with 7 hits. Arcia takes his lead. Gennett, a swing and a miss. 1-2. Reds are headed to St. Louis after the game today. The Brewers on their way to Arlington, Texas. 3-game series with the Rangers. Wrapping up the home schedule today. And Gennett, a ground ball. This will get a run home. Peraza will make the play, but the Brewers in this inning have cut the deficit in half. It is now 4-2. Very costly error by Cabrera, the catcher. And with the bases empty and 2 away, another pinch hitter is coming out. Josmil Pinto.
And Diaz getting a lot of the plate with his fastballs, and Gennett hit that one right on the nose. But I feel Scooter probably think he should have done more with that pitch. That one a 2-strike pitch right down the middle.
So Pinto on to hit for the Brewers. Be his 3rd at bat as a Brewer. It had been 2 years since major league appearances for him. Last appeared with the Twins in 2014. And he's up there with a chance to extend this 7th inning. This guy had a nice year in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, they had a couple of catchers that could swing the bat pretty well. Manny Pena, pretty good bat. And Pinto, both of these guys, pretty good at the plate.
One and one, and Pinto with a big swing fouls it away. Brewers hope to make it a clean sweep this weekend of sports teams, right? The Badgers won Saturday. Big win on the road to Michigan State. Packers won earlier today. Nice win over the Lions. And the Brewers with a win today would win this series against Cincinnati. And they chipped 2 away off the deficit.
They're right back in the game. Cincinnati pitching has been pretty good last couple of days. For a team that has been a little shaky on the mound all year. I mean, they have been able to hold the Brewers down to 3 runs the last couple of games.
Just missed. 2-2 the count. Every time I say the phrase 2-2 for my entire broadcasting career, which goes back to 1994, I think of one man.
Vin Scully.
Vin Scully. There's a swing and a miss. Down he goes. 2-2 to Harvey Keene. The great Vin calling his last game at Dodger Stadium today. Here there is rain coming though. 4-2 Reds. Go to the top of the 8th inning. Brewers just got 2. Mentioned that Vin Scully calling his final game at Dodger Stadium. Imagine that. He's been there since it opened in 1962. 67th and final season. And that was the image from Vin Scully. He actually had that sign commissioned. I'll miss you. Signed Vin. He'll call his final game next Sunday in San Francisco. We'll bring you excerpts of that, and highly encourage you to go to MLB Network after our game today and watch Vin Scully call his final game at Dodger Stadium. Honored to have known him and be alongside him in a small way.
Special man.
Cincinnati native Brent Suter on the mound, and he gets Schebler to ground out. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Even though the home schedule's over, we're still playing ball tomorrow. Hope you'll join us as we get ready for the Rangers. Matt Garza, the former Ranger, will pitch. Martin Perez on the mound for Texas. A.J. Griffin and Jimmy Nelson. And then Rangers have not announced a starter yet for Wednesday. There's a line drive base hit. Joey Votto sends one to the wall, and he's on his way to second with a double.
One a day. It's hard to keep that guy over all day long. Lefty versus lefty, 30th double this season. Looked like Suter tried to get a cut fastball, and look at Votto. I mean, it's gets on top of it and slices it down that left field line.
Well, when you talk about Reds history and you think about great hitters, Pete Rose obviously is #1. And with that double, number 30 for Votto, he's only the second Reds player other than Rose with at least 30 doubles in 8 seasons in a career. Rose did it 13 times. Brent Suter said it was a bit of an out-of-body experience the first time he pitched against Votto. He essentially grew up in his high school years, his formative years, rooting for the Reds, rooting for Votto, watching him play, admiring his ability. And yet he finds himself pitching against him.
Yeah. I guess every player's had that opportunity. Mine was at Yankee Stadium against Ron Guidry. Back in the old days. Those of you who remember Ron Guidry was left-handed pitcher. Call him Gator.
Louisiana Lightning. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Suter strikes out Duvall for the second out of the inning.
Aren't you going to ask me how I did against him?
How'd you do against the Gator?
Hit a double.
Oh, did you?
I wouldn't have brought it up had I struck out.
I didn't realize you were pining for a follow-up. Sorry about that.
Come on, man. Help me out. Don't make me beg.
Any other legends that you had big hits off of? You had a good career against Tommy John, I think.
Yeah, I'd rather not get into all that. But we were just talking about.
Now you're going to be humble.
Yeah, we were just talking about guys you grew up watching, and you finally get that face. You know, Ron Guidry was that guy for me.
See, I had all those feelings, but with broadcasters, because I wasn't good enough to do what you did. So when I get to come to work and see a Vin Scully, or like today, sitting between 2 Hall of Famers, Bob Uecker doing Brewers radio and Marty Brenneman doing Reds radio.
I still get that. I mean, when you talk about guys like that. I mean, I don't get that feeling when I, sit next to you every day. I mean,
I get a lot of other feelings.
Yeah.
Nothing a little Mylanta won't take care of, though. We have eaten a lot today, by the way. It's been a lot of
grazing. Not a big meal, but food in and out, and
not a great combination of foods either on this final day. It's empty out the booth snack day, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I've gone from omelet early today to
cheeseburgers,
fried ravioli.
That is a nice combo. You're right.
But the fried raviolis are awesome. I want to thank Chef Seth Vanderland all year for providing some great food in the booth.
You know it.
Every day, and Much appreciated.
No question. Set's always fun to be around too. Phillips pops this one up. Should be playable. Maldonado's under it, and that will retire the side. And Suter puts up a scoreless 8th. Brewers are in there. They're down 2. And Rock and I are going to go hit the spread. We got 90 seconds to crush.
The final home game, their home team trailing by 2 runs. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. We're getting set for Brewers Live post game, and couldn't do it without the fans, Davey. I mean, Augie. See, it's the last one.
It's one of us two.
I tell you. Sorry, pal.
That's all
Davey's
right.
here today, though. Davey actually
Yes,
spent time with
I
us
think that's
all
why
day
you
up in
got
the press
mixed up
box.
a
I
little
know.
bit.
I sat and talked to him the whole game. So, anyway, what were we talking about?
About our fans. How about
They
those
are
fans?
great, aren't they?
It is. You know, when you talk about what they've come up, they turned out 2.3 million in excess of to come out and watch this team develop, and that just goes to show you how much they appreciate what this organization is trying to do.
All right, good stuff. And also after the ball game, we'll have our Brewers final pitch. Go to the Facebook Fox Sports Wisconsin Facebook page for that, powered by Evinrude. All right, guys, I think we're going to get everything straightened out and have a good final show here before it's done.
I'm not sure what just happened right there.
I know it.
I think Craig had a small seizure.
Yeah, well.
All right, get it together, boys. Hopefully it's a good news Brewers Live post game. By the way, Craig, and specifically Craig, hosting Brewers Live each and every day, and then his cohorts, Jerry Augustine and Davey Nelson, and the team that puts together those Brewers Live pre and post game. Great job all year, gang.
Craig's the best.
Fantastic work. We appreciate all of their efforts before and after every Brewers game. VR a strikeout to start the Brewers 8th. Brewers Live pregame and postgame producer James Stewart. And Crystal and all the work she does down there as well in audio. Thank our booth crew here. Mike Faulkner, our stats man, and Renee Hoffman. There's Crystal. She's in the shot. At least her silhouette.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun down there. I enjoy doing those shows down there, whether it be you know, pre and post, or just doing the post game hit, which I'll be going down there today for.
The Bill Schroeder cameo. The big money moment.
Which I hope has not yet been determined.
Brewers are down a pair. Santana takes a ball. Now, we're so fortunate to work here at Miller Park. We love our crew. We have a great crew. I've been all over working multiple sports across the nation and with multiple outlets. And I can tell you, the folks that operate here at Fox Sports Wisconsin About as good as it gets. Great camera operators, and video and audio, and true pros that take a lot of pride in their job, and we appreciate all of them. Human beings behind those cameras and behind those microphones, and they give you all the great looks. Santana lines one foul. One other thing that fascinates me so much right now in the sports world is the images we're able to see, the slow motion speeds, the resolutions of the cameras. We're able to see things we've never seen before, and our camera operators back there and all those in videotape running the replays instantaneously deserve a lot of credit. The technicians who operate this equipment.
Yep, very talented. They take their work seriously, and they're a lot of fun to be around, that's for sure. We have a good time with everybody.
All led in the truck by our terrific crew, producers Brent Reeland and Dan Keener. Our directors, Mark Vittorio and Adam Bryant III. Adam Bryant's on the job today with Dan Keener. And Renardo Lowe, who comes in and fills in occasionally. Great work by our directors this year. And a nod to our production assistants, Glenn and Mario, Patrick and Chris. Too hot to handle. Stop it with your foot. That's a potential fantasy camper right there with that move.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stopping of ground balls with your feet in fantasy camp.
And a lot of olaying going on.
It's the bending over part that gives us all trouble.
It's not the bending over, it's straightening back up. That's the problem.
That's true. 3-2 pitch. Santana takes a called strike 3. And 2 outs in the inning. If you can do this, you can be a star at fantasy camp, which is coming up.
Not recommended, but if you have to.
Well, got a big ovation here as fans starting to come to their feet with Ryan Braun being introduced, recognizing this could be the final time he hits as a Milwaukee Brewer in this ballpark. And Braun acknowledges the fans. A spontaneous moment here that it's a touch awkward, but I think it's healthy that Braun's been so open about. The ball club has been open with Braun about all the trade discussions. He's been open back, and it's something that's just on the table.
Right.
It could happen, and if it does, fans acknowledging what he has meant to this organization in 10 years. He's had his downs, no doubt. There's been some dark moments in his career here, but there have been some really great moments as well.
No doubt.
Can't argue with the level of success and the humanitarian work that he has done. Much of it not seen and out of the view of the public.
And may be very close to the best hitter that's ever worn a Brewers uniform. There aren't too many better.
Franchise's all-time home run leader, past Robin Yount last year. Well, Ryan has 2 hits. If it is his last at bat, love to go out with a bang. As he fouls that one away, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, Mark Atanasio was asked a couple of days ago about Ryan Braun, whether he's going to be back, and Mark's only response was, I hope so. But we'll see how it works out.
A team would have to wow the Brewers with players in return for him to do that. But Braun has proven he is probably worthy of that kind of return, the way he is swinging the bat. And down he goes. It's a strikeout to end the inning. And if in fact that is Braun's last at bat as a Brewer, he will exit to a standing ovation right above the dugout. On Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And we go to the 9th inning at Miller Park. Coming down to the end here. Last game at Miller Park. It's a little bit sad. See if the Brewers can have one big rally today to give folks something to remember as we head to the offseason.
We'll be back before you know it.
And still 6 games to play. Don't forget, we're saying our goodbyes here, but just to the home folks, and 6 games to wrap up the season on the road. Arcia, good strong throw to get Suarez for out number 1. One gone in the 9th, and the Reds will have a pinch hitter, Ivan De Jesus Jr. Reds led 4-0. Brewers got 2 in the 7th. In the center field, going back on it is Perez. And there's out number 2. Special thanks to our bosses, executive producer Tony Tortorisi, coordinating producer Trevor Fleck. Great work by those two all year. Here with the Brewers, Tyler Barnes. And our boss, the Queen Bee, Alita Mercer.
Yeah.
Thanks to Alita for all that she does each and every day. Mike Diamond as well with Fox Sports, the general manager.
Make it easy on us. Alita's been with the organization, I don't want to say a long time, but she has been here longer than I have, actually.
She's a great boss. Fly ball to right, slicing, and it's going to be caught. Nice quick inning for Suter. Pitches the last 2. All right. Could be the last half inning at Miller Park. Do the Brewers have a memory in the making? They are down 2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The final Sunday at Miller Park, coming down to the final inning with the Brewers down a pair. And we wave goodbye to all of you great fans out there. Thanks for watching all season long. Thanks for being here at Miller Park. And let's see if the Brewers can come up with a little Miller Park magic here in the ninth. Bernie's ready to slide. And the Brewers will send up Chris Carter to start it, Perez to follow, and then Arcia.
Man, tough customer out on the mound. Back-to-back days for Iglesias. Picked up a save in yesterday's ball game. Actually, no save. He came in with a 4-run lead. A scoreless inning, 3 up, 3 down.
Carter, a wave and a miss. Reds have been very hesitant to use Raisel Iglesias in back-to-back games. He was about as dominant as you could be yesterday. A 10-pitch save, slinging it in there like that. So you're hoping for a little command issue with Iglesias. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carter waves and misses, 1 and 2.
He's got a nasty breaking pitch, that slider fastball. He's a little bit of funky delivery that it takes a little while to get used to. And by the time you get used to it, he's out of there.
2 and 2 the count. Up above, the roof is starting to close.
We're expecting some rain to come in.
A symbol of the season. And the 2-2 is outside, ball 3.
Some thunderstorms to our west.
Full count. And down he goes. Carter strikes out. That is 4 consecutive strikeouts for, make it 5 consecutive strikeouts for Reds relievers. Starting with the K in the 7th. Brewers had 3 Ks last inning, and now Carter against Iglesias here in the 9th. And a breaking ball strike to Perez. Brewers need 1 base runner, and then they'll have the tying run at the plate. And he goes, unable to check his swing. 0-2 the count. Perez disagrees.
Yep, could have gone either way.
0-2 pitch. Wow, telling you, this guy's a star in the making here. If he can prove he's durable at all, he is going to be a major factor next season for the Reds.
He's got to be able to stay healthy. I mean, they protect him a little bit with some of the arm injuries that he's had. They don't use him a whole lot. But if he can maybe give you 2-3 days in a row, there's no telling how good this guy can be. One of the nastiest right-handers in the game.
Arcia in a 1-1 count. Orlando trying to reach with 2 outs. Get that tying run to the plate, and Maldonado a strike. 1-2 now. Well, the Brewers are going to finish with a winning record at home. Regardless, 41-39 coming into play today. Something to build on. Two-two to Arcia. Hanging tough. Brewers draw 31,776 today. So the final home attendance this year, 2.314. 2.3 million.
Well done.
Tremendous accomplishment. And that's it. The ball game is over. The home schedule is over. The Brewers go 41-40 at Miller Park this season. The Reds win the game today by a final of 4-2. Brandon Finnegan the winner. Raisel Iglesias with his 4th save, and Willie Peralta, who was the opening day starter, suffers the loss. And partner, we close the book on another season at Miller Park. We still have baseball to be played on the road. The Brewers are going to Arlington to play the Rangers and then the Rockies. But on behalf of our entire crew here, thanks for all the great work, and it's always great being with you, buddy.
Nice job, man. It's always a lot of fun. You know, it's one of those things, you know, you get through the season and sometimes some respects, you're glad it's over, but you're going to miss a lot of people that we work with. It's like a family around here. Love the fans. And one of my favorite parts of the day is right before the game started, just kind of hanging out and waving and chatting with the fans out in front. So good job, everybody that's been watching all year.
Yeah, and special thanks to our folks here in the booth, Mike Faulkner, our stats man, and Renee Hoffman, our terrific stage manager. We've still got more for you coming up. Brewers Live with Craig Cashon and Jerry Augustine coming your way next. Bill Schroeder will make a cameo. Sophia will have interviews down in the clubhouse. Close the books on the home schedule here at Miller Park. Brewers Live starts now. Take it away, Craig.
All right, BA, and thanks to you guys as well. Good stuff all year long. Brewers giving out some goodies to the fans hanging around. Great sight here for the final home game. The final Brewers Live post-game home show at Miller Park is on the way. Stay with us here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.